Hello, my name is Alicia from My Crafty Pursuits. Today we're going to be making these little piggies here. They go along with the pig plant holder. And you can see that there's some smaller ones and you can do some felted eyes on them. And this one is with some metallic lightweight yarn all the way up to this bigger one using blanket yarn. And then we have some dollar store Chanel, some Burnett velvet, and then our regular most used acrylic yarn. And this little guy has the optional mouth on him. So let's gather some supplies and make our little piggies. For our little piggies, we're gonna need some pink yarn, a little bit of black for the nostrils, a pair of safety eyes, gonna use a G hook, a tapestry needle, some scissors, and a bit of fluff. And we could also use little squeakers on the insides. Gonna start off with our pink yarn and make a magic ring. Inside this magic ring, we're gonna place 6 single crochets. And then we're gonna pull our magic ring tight. And if it helps to track your rounds, you can place a stitch marker in the first or last stitch. For round 2, we're gonna increase in every stitch. So we're gonna have 12 single crochets for round 2. For our round 3, we're gonna increase by 6 again. So we're gonna single crochet and then increase all the way around for 18 single crochets. Next row, for round 4, we're gonna increase by 2. So we're gonna do an increase stitch followed by 8 single crochets, and we're gonna do that twice. For rounds 5 through 9, we're gonna have 20 single crochets. At the end of round 9, you have kind of a couple looking shape. And at this point, we are going to place our eyes, and they're going to go between rounds 3 and rounds 4. So take our eyes, we're going to place them about 3 to 4 stitches apart. Before you place the backs on them, make sure they are where you want them to be. And then for the final round of the head, round 10, we're going to do a decrease stitch. We're going to do a single crochet followed by a decrease 6 more times for a total of 13 stitches. We're going to tie off, leaving a long tail to sew the head to the body. And then we can also add a little bit of fluff to our head. You can stuff to your desired firmness. We'll set our head aside. We're going to take our pink yarn again to make the snout. So we have our magic ring, and inside our magic ring for round 1, we're going to single crochet 4. After we pull our magic ring tight, we'll start on round 2. And for round 2, we're going to increase with half double crochets. So we'll have a total of 8 stitches for round 2. At the end of round 2, we're going to slip stitch into our first half double crochet to join our round. And for round 3, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to be working a camel stitch. So in the 3rd loop of our half double crochets, and we're going to half double crochet camel stitch all the way around. If you are unsure of the camel stitch, there's another tutorial on the camel stitch, which I will link below in the description. At the end of our round 3, we're going to slip stitch into our first half double crochet to join. We'll pull that tight. We'll leave a long tail for sewing our snout to our face. And this is where we're going to take a little bit of our black yarn and we're going to embroider some nostrils onto our snout. You can make yours however big or small you would like. I tend to place mine just around round 1, slightly off center on each side. Tie our black yarn on the inside of our snout. If you would like a bit of firmness to your snout, you can place some stuffing inside, or you can just sew it onto the face as is. Take our tapestry needle to sew our snout to the face. And they're going to go between the 2 eyes, about covering rounds 4 to 7 on the head. And when you sew your snout on, before you tag it down, you can look to see if your nostrils are in line to where you would like them with the front of the face between the eyes. The snout. Now we have the snout onto the face. We can tie and weave in our ends. On the PDF, there's an option to create the mouth, which is similar to the ears and how you make it. Just a few less rows. We're going to skip that for this video and we're going to move on to the ears. So for the ears, we're going to chain 2. And then in the back bump or 3rd loop of that first chain, we're going to single crochet 1. For row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to increase in that first row for 2 single crochets, chain 1 and turn. Row 3, we're going to single crochet 1, and then an increase for 3 stitches, and again chain 1, turn. And we're going to increase, single crochet, and increase for a total of 5 single crochets. For round 5, we're going to chain 1, but we're not going to turn. We're going to single crochet 4 into the side bars of each of the rows we previously did. And then at the top, we're going to do a chain 3 and slip stitch into that first chain. And then we're going to single crochet 4 down the other side of our rows. When we get to the bottom of our ear, we're going to slip stitch into our first single crochet of that round, and then we're just going to leave ourselves a long tail for sewing the ear onto the head. before we sew that onto the head, we are going to make one more ear, so we're going to repeat all of that. Once we have our second ear made, we're going to take our tapestry needle again, and we're going to sew the ears onto the body with the inner edge of the ear aligned with the inner edge of the eye. And we're going to sew them at a little bit of an angle so the inside of the ear is further away from the eyes than the outsides of the ears. So it creates a C shape with the ear. And you want to be about one stitch above your eye when you're sewing them on. You can go through the middle of row 4 to give a little bit more of a curve to the ear. Then you're just going to want to tie your ends and then weave them in. And then we will sew the other ear on to match on this side. Then after we have the second ear sewn on, we can do the same thing and tie and weave in the ends. The next part is the body of the pig. So we'll take our pink, make our magic ring, and inside our magic ring we're going to make 6 single crochets. Pull our magic ring tight. And for our round 2, we're going to increase in each stitch. So we'll have 12 single crochets for the end of round 2. For round 3, we're going to do a single crochet and then an increase. And we're going to do that 6 times around, so we'll have 18 stitches by the end of round 3. For round 4, we're going to do 2 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times for a total of 24 single crochets. For rounds 5 through 12, we're going to do 24 single crochets. At the end of round 12, you can add some stuffing to the body, and if you wanted to make your pig squeak, you can add a little squeaker in there. For round 13, we're going to be decreasing, so we're going to do 2 single crochets followed by a decrease 6 times for a total of 18 stitches. For round 14, we're gonna single crochet and decrease 6 times for a total of 12 stitches. At the end of round 14, we're gonna want to finish stuffing the body to our pig. Round 15, we're going to decrease all the way around for 6 stitches. Then we're going to cut and tie, leaving a tail so we can close up the hole. So we'll take our tapestry needle and we're going to weave through the front loops of all our stitches. And we'll pull tight. secure our tail and weave in our ends. So this gives us our body. And we're going to sew our head to the body. So you could choose the placement. Be about round 1 that your head will sit at, between round 1 and 2. And if you want it looking straight on, you can line up your snout with the magic ring of the body. Then we're just gonna whip stitch all the way around to secure the head on. And then we will tie to secure and weave in our ends. Next step that we're gonna do for our pig here are the feet. So we're gonna start with our magic ring, and for the first round of each of the legs, we're gonna do 5 single crochets and pull our magic ring tight, and we're gonna increase by 2. So we're gonna do a single crochet followed by an increase, single crochet, increase, and one more single crochet. For round 3, we're going to be working back loops only, so 7 back loop only single crochets. For our round 4, we're going to again single crochet 7 around. And at the end of our round 4, we're going to slip stitch to join, and we're going to leave ourselves a bit of a tail to sew our leg onto the body. And we're going to do this 3 more times, so we have 4 legs total. And if you'd like, you could take a little bit of stuffing and stuff your legs and give them a little bit more shape. Once we have all 4 of the legs made, we're going to sew them onto the body. I'm just going to go to the bottom of our body and place them about round 5 from the front and equal sets apart. You can also use pins to pin them on the body first before you sew them down, so you can make sure that you like the placement of your feet before it's permanent. As you finish sewing each leg on, make sure that you secure with a knot and weave in your ends. So now our pig has some feet. So the last part we're going to do is it still needs a tail. For the tail, we're going to chain 11. And in the second chain from the hook, gonna slip stitch 1, and then we're gonna slip stitch 2 into the next chain, and then in the following chain we're gonna slip stitch 3, and we're gonna go back and forth doing 2 slip stitches and 3 slip stitches. And by doing this in the chain, we're gonna cause the chain to curl so we can give our pig a curling tail. And in the very last chain, we're going to single crochet one, and this is the point that we're going to be able to tie our tail to our body. So we're going to leave ourselves a little bit of a tail on our tail. And you can help your chain by wrapping it around. It will kind of naturally want to curl a little bit. And then right through your second to last round, we can weave our ends to the chain and to our row one and tie to secure the tail on. And then we'll just weave in our ends here. And that gives us our finished little piggy. Thank you for joining me today in making our little piggy here. I hope you enjoy him.